I think I might just keep y'all there, Facebook, because I'm on my laptop as well. Let's see if I want to put you on a stand. I think I'm just going to leave y'all right there. I think the stand going to do too much. Let's see. I want to tell the whole world that you belong to. So y'all up here, and then YouTube is down here. Let's see. Can I bring you down a little bit? Some kind of eye level. Oh, yeah. All right, I think I can roll with that. I think I can roll with that. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, there we go. I was making sure that you all could hear me on the YouTube channel. Make sure my volume is up on my cell phone. What's up, Fit to Flexing? All right, so I'm in the middle of working, filing, and preparing taxes. So I wanted to jump on because I have not been on, and wanted to go over a couple of things for the taxes, right? Let me just take tax updates or something like that, right? I'm going off the top of my head tonight, so I have not really planned what I was going to talk to you about, but I wanted to bring a couple of things to point, right? I got a couple of questions in my inbox, and so you all know how I am. I kind of like to answer sometimes these questions online because more of you actually sometimes have the same question. So we'll go ahead and get started. If any of you all are watching, let me know what city and state you're watching from. If you're on the YouTube channel, welcome. Make sure that you like the channel, share the channel, like this video. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself so you all are aware with who you're talking to. My name is Patrice Stewart, better known as the Realist Tax and Business Strategist. I have over 20 years of experience in the tax, accounting, banking industries. I worked for a big box bank for six and a half years. And then I also have a background in tax and accounting. I've had my own tax firm or the last 15 years now. Ooh, I'm getting up there. But I like to also get on this internet and share some information with you all, let you all know some updates, let you know kind of what's happening in the tax credit and business world. Those are kind of the three main topics that I talk about: taxes, business, and sometimes we'll go over some credit topics, okay? But one of the things that I wanted to remind you all tonight is February, right? And I wanted to remind you of the PATH Act. A lot of you all may or may not remember that, even though you file taxes every year. Some of you all may not remember. So those of you all who file children, who file earned income credit, child tax credit, or the American Opportunity Credit, that's the college education credit, you all are held in a pot until February 15th, right? So even though we are open, the IRS started on January 27th for their official opening of the filing season. Yes, we are filing and preparing taxes, but for those of you all who have children, you all are going to be held in like a holding pot, right? And so that's what I call it, like a holding pot. But basically, the PATH Act was established some years ago. I don't remember the exact year that they put this in place, but basically they hold all of you all returns until February 15th, okay? And then on February 15th, all of you all who are under that earned income credit, child tax credit, American Opportunity Credit under that PATH Act, then you all are processed starting that day, right? Usually you will start seeing refunds around that first week of March, okay? So I just wanted to remind you all that because I know some people have reached out asking when can they possibly expect their return. For one, for me as a tax professional, I don't go looking at when your return is due. That's your job, right? Once we file and process your return, you can go to the Where's My Refund site to continually check on your own taxes. I don't do that. I don't know. Maybe y'all are used to going to some of those side preparers that's looking for their money. But once I file your file, I'm not going on the IRS website checking your returns. Okay. So that's your job to do to keep up with that and to figure out when you will receive a refund. But for many of you all who are claiming kids, earned income credit, child tax credit, if those qualify you for those credits, because everyone who claims kids does not get those credits, right? Depends on your income and things like that. I wanted to remind you all of that February 15th date. Also, another question that I received in the inbox was, I just completely lost my whole train of thought. Oh, one of the other questions that I received in my inbox is, what if you have not received your 1099 yet from your employer? All right. Some of you all who work for smaller companies, maybe a small mom and pop office, you may or may not have received your 1099 or W-2 by January 31st, right? Which is really what they're supposed to do. Doesn't mean that you're not getting one. It does not. So if you have not received it as of January 31st, I would reach out to that employer and make sure that they are preparing you a 1099 or a W-2 if it's late, right? You do not want to file paperwork. You do not want to file your taxes and then you're missing paperwork, right? One of the biggest red flags, or one of the easiest ways to get audited or selected for an audit, is filing your taxes prematurely, right? And so this is why I'm not big with filing people taxes in January. Most of my clients know to come to me in February or March or later. Okay, I'll bring that up too. But I don't file a whole lot of people in January because of this, right? People are always eager, but a lot of times you all are missing documentation. So any documentation that your employer reports to the IRS knows, right? And so I like you all to know that, because you don't want to process those taxes too soon and then you're missing paperwork, right? Like I said, that's one of the easiest ways to get caught up, is to file the taxes prematurely. Also, if you all have small W-2s, right? I've heard this before. Well, it's only $600, or it's only this amount, it's only that amount. It does not matter the dollar amount. If you received paperwork, if you received 1099, W-2, and it's different 1099s, you all. This week on my YouTube channel, we will be sharing videos. I've done a bunch of different video series this weekend, breaking down the different types of 1099s. We have 1099R, which is for retirement. Those of you who are retired receive a 1099R. We have 1099 NEC, which is non-employee compensation. Many of you all who drive for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, you work as an independent contractor, many of you will receive a 1099 NEC. If you accept credit card payments, if you accept PayPal, Stripe, Square, a lot of you all will receive a 1099K, like Kelly, right? So there's a bunch of different 1099 forms. It's a bunch of different types of the 1099s. And so again, you want to make sure that you have all of your documentation. If those of you all who are dealing with stocks, right? Those of you all who are dealing with trading your stocks, you all also get a 1099. So there are like 12 to 15, if not more, different types of 1099 forms alone. All right. And so again, you want to make sure that you have your proper paperwork. The other thing that I want to say is, how do I want to say this? The other thing that I want to say is, it is very important for you all to know and understand who you're working with, especially when it comes to filing and preparing your taxes. I don't know what myth is out there that someone just, you all just think you can randomly file tax returns. Now, if you have a basic tax return where you're only filing your W-2, and maybe 1 or 2 kids, that's a basic return. Yes, you can file those on your own, right? But when you all start getting additional forms, when you start getting forms that you're like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what a 1099K is. I don't know what this 1099 retirement is, Patrice. I don't know what this 1099 Social Security is. How do I fill that out? When you have those type of questions, then it's time to go to a tax professional, okay? Also, when I say tax professional, there is a difference from a side hustler preparing taxes, and there's a difference from a tax professional like myself. Those of us who are actual professionals, our name is on your paperwork. All right. My company name is on your paperwork. I have a P10 number with the IRS. I'm actually an ERO. I'm an IRS approved ERO, right? I'm an authorized IRS e-file agent, right? So all of those are different qualifications that I work with the IRS to process your returns. Now, if on your paperwork it says self-prepared, then you know that you're more than likely not working with a professional, all right? Because their name is not attached to it. So you have to be mindful and pay attention to that. More than ever, a lot more of us tax professionals are seeing a lot of you all being audited. A lot of you all are being audited because you're going to the wrong people. If your mindset is, I want the biggest refund, then expect that possibly in the future, you're going to be one of the ones being audited. I will say, being in this tax industry for almost 20 years, these last couple of years have been wild, like wild west, to the point where I'm ready to pivot. I'm ready to get out of doing tax preparation, right, and pivot into a whole nother industry with, so that's my move. Because at this point, unless there are going to be some changes made, it's wild west out here. And one thing I'm not going to do is go back and forth with some of you all who are uninformed, because you're listening to somebody who's just in it for filing your taxes to get you a bigger refund. Last thing I want to say is, with you getting those bigger refunds, 9 times out of 10, there is something fraudulent on your tax return that got you that higher refund, right? If you went on TurboTax and you only got yourself $2,000, and then you go to somebody and they got you 10, 15, 20,000, know for a fact that that's fraud. Know for a fact that those numbers were inflated. Okay. I don't know why we still in 2025 have to have this conversation on the internet with some of you grown people. But unfortunately, I have to have this conversation because some of the questions that I get in my inbox, this is what we see, right? So like I said, instead of responding to those inboxes individually, especially when we get some of the same type of questions in the inbox, then I'll just jump on a live and give it all to you all at one time, right? And then the other thing is depending on who you're working with, some of us are all year round preparers, and some people are January through April, right? And so I want you all to be aware, taxes is an all year round thing. Taxes is not just January through April. Now, is this what we call peak tax season? Yes. January through April is considered peak tax season, right? Because this is the time that taxes are due, right? Personal individual taxes are due by April 15th. If you are an S Corp or a partnership, your taxes are due March 15th. I want to say it's March 17th this year because I think the 15th falls on a weekend. My calendar not open. Don't worry about it. But normally they're due March 15th. If it falls on the weekend, then they'll be due that following Monday. Okay. So again, taxes are all year round. Me personally, I don't shut down after April. I take a break But then I start back up probably like the beginning of March. I probably take like a week or two break after April 15th. And then I start back filing taxes again in May. And then we're filing taxes May, June, July, August, September, October, right? Because those of you all who asked for a 6-month extension, if you're not ready to file your taxes right now, you can file an extension. You can say, hey, IRS, I'm not ready to file right now. I'm not even going to be ready by April 15th, right? April 15th is the tax deadline for people who owe. Let me stipulate that. For people who owe. If you receive a refund, you can file your taxes all year round. You don't have to file your taxes by April 15th. I have some clients that wait until the end of the year to file their taxes. That way they get their refund around the holiday season, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas time, and they have that larger refund then to be able to use those funds, right? So again, when you're working with a professional that's all year round, you have flexibility. Okay. When you go on some of those sites like TurboTax and things like that, they're not available, I want to say, after October. So I file a lot of taxes in November. All right, we can process taxes after the extension date, which would be October 15th. Most individual taxes we can process all the way up until like the second week of November. And then for corporations, S corps, we can process your taxes usually all the way up until the second week of December. Right. So that's it for now. Like I said, this week on YouTube, we'll have some videos coming out that breaks down the different 1099s. So those will be kind of short, like 1 to 3 minute videos for you all. We'll be posting, and those will be coming out in all of this week. We'll be doing tax updates on the YouTube channel, giving you all some insight. Do you have any questions while I am on here? I have been on 16 minutes. I'm only going to be on 30 minutes today. So the next 13 minutes, I can open up the floor for questions if you have any. And then let me just also go into my inbox and just double check what we got today, because we get tons of questions in there. And just so you all know, this is really more on Facebook than YouTube. But Facebook, I don't answer individual tax questions in my inbox, right? I am a business. I am a professional. And so I don't answer a bunch of tax questions in the inbox. Now, I do have a tax inquiry call that you can book with me. It's a 15-minute call for $37. You're more than welcome to book that. But those of you all that have been writing me paragraphs and sentences and telling me your whole life on Facebook, and we have left you on red, I'm sorry, that is why. Or my assistant will respond to you all and let you know, hey, Patrice can talk to you on your phone about this, but I don't answer inbox questions regarding you all's taxes. Okay. I will make no money answering 50 to 11 inboxes all day. Okay. So I just want you to know that. So we do try to review as many as we can, but we get them every day, multiple ones. And then I was trying to think what else did I have up here. Like I said, I kind of just jumped on randomly tonight. Just taking me a quick mental break from doing taxes. We've been doing taxes all day. A young lady did ask me about if you get married. I might answer that question. So if you are single, so it is different. It is different filing statuses, right? You have single, you have head of household, you have married filing jointly, you have married filing separately, and then you have widow, right? Those are the main 5 filing status. But I think the young lady had mentioned that she got married last year, and how should she file? So either if you recently got married, you would either file married filing jointly, or you would file married filing separately. What I will say is, if you file married filing separately, you get no credits. It's like they penalize you because you're married and you're filing separate, right? So if you have children and you and your husband decide to file one kid maybe you both had a child before you got married, right? He wants to file his child, you want to file your child, but now you're married. Well, if you select married filing separately, the IRS will give you no credits for those children. You won't get child tax credit. You won't get earned income credit. You won't get American Opportunity Credit if they are in college and they go to college. You get no credits. It's like they penalize you for filing separately, right? So that's something that you should be aware of. When you file married filing jointly, that your income is combined, so you may no longer qualify for those credits, but that's ultimately how it works, right? So when you do change your filing status, you do want to look into that. I do commend that young lady for asking the question, but she needs to book a formal call with me for that because she had a lot more details in her inbox. But just based off of the first question, I've gotten that a couple of times as well, like your filing status. What do you choose for your filing status? Again, if you don't know how to file your taxes, then that's where it is time for you to get an actual professional. Okay. What's not okay, and I'm not gonna say it's not okay, but what you all should not expect me to do being in this business, that's like going to a lawyer and saying, teach me how to represent myself. You get what I mean? That's like going to the doctor and saying, show me how to be a surgeon. You get what I'm saying? So that doesn't make sense for y'all to reach out to me and expect me to tell you how to file your taxes when this is what I do for a living. You get what I'm saying? So make it make sense, okay? It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. It's nothing different, right? You go to your doctor because they're an expert. You go to your doctor because you want somebody who knows what they're doing to work on you if you got to have surgery, right? You're not going to go to somebody who's side hustling surgeries. I hope not. Some of y'all do, especially with them bodies, but that's a whole nother that's a whole nother conversation. But when you're reaching out to tax professionals, be mindful of that and be respectful of people and their business. That's like me coming on your job, telling you, just tell me how to do what you do. Like, no, dear. Hello, Demia Fry. She says, appreciate the tips and the info. You are welcome. But yeah, I think a lot of people are not familiar with that you can file taxes all year. If y'all didn't know that. Now, of course, everybody want to file now, especially if your pockets is a little slim, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I just want you to know that taxes are all year round. I know that the IRS promotes it as a tax season, but we just call it the peak season, right? It's the time when the taxes are due, let's say. And then again, that April 15th deadline is really for people who owe. Right. And this is when I'm talking about individual taxes, that April 15th deadline is more for people who owe. Again, if you normally receive a refund, you can file all year round. You don't have to file by April 15th. Like I said, I have clients that file in June, July, August, September, whenever they feel like they want to file the taxes or whatever they have going on in their life as to why they want that lump sum of money at that time. Okay. All right, y'all, we got 7 minutes left. You got any questions? Do you have any questions for me? What's going on, Kay? Kay say, I'm over taxes. My ass back this year. Thanks to one of my jobs not taking out the correct amount of federal taxes. And you know what, Kay? I'm going to be honest and say that was this right before Biden got in office? I think so. Was this right before or right at the end of Trump's previous term? I can't remember, but it was like right at the end of Trump's term and right at the beginning of Biden's term, but the tax rates had changed. And a lot of employers ever since then, 5 years ago, ever since then, a lot of my clients with regular W-2s taxes have not been the same. I don't know if the employers never got the right system or the dollar amounts, but these last couple of years, I will say that several of my W-2 clients who normally don't owe definitely have been owing sometimes these last couple of years because the taxes are not right with the federal. And sometimes state too, but definitely federal have been off with some jobs and employers. So I don't know how y'all could fix that, because every time I say something, a lot of y'all say today these jobs are not helping. They don't have an HR. I haven't worked in corporate America since 2013. So it's 2025 now. We're going on 12 years. So when I worked in corporate America 12 years ago, they were still helping you all. We still had an HR department. We used to have a whole day to fill out paperwork, right? So now you all say that these jobs don't do that for you anymore. They no longer help you. They no longer guide you and direct you. And they don't even help you with letting you know why your taxes are not being taken out correctly. So I don't know what to tell y'all. But yeah, Kay. Yeah, but I will say, Kay, because I know the type of industry that you're in, don't sit on not getting that done. State of Illinois is really cracking down. So any of you all who have licenses, if you're in the state of Illinois specifically, okay, if you have licenses, if you have a nursing license, if you have a real estate license, if your job title requires you to be licensed or have some type of license by the state, they are cracking down on you all. I have received so many calls from people whose licenses are suspended because they owe the state of Illinois, right? And if you have not talked to them, you have not got on a payment plan, do that. Any of you all who are on here and you have a license, whether you are a RN, like I said, a nursing, I got a couple of nursing clients that we had to work with. I got a couple of real estate brokers that we had to work with to help get them out of trouble. Because the state is cracking down, and they have taken away people's license, right? They do it after the fact. They're like, your license is gone. You need to get this taken care of, right? And then everybody at that point rushing to come and get their taxes taken care of. So just a heads up, Kay, right? If that is kind of the situation, or you have a balance out there, immediately get on a payment plan this week. Don't play with it, because the state of Illinois is looking for the money that they've spent and given out all these last couple of years. So now they cracking down. So that was it. All right, Kay's comment is the only one that I saw. Ooh, baby. I don't know why that song is stuck in my head. I have not heard it all day, but it's stuck in my head. And then I'm just type in my contact info here on YouTube. And then I will shut down. I will shut down. If I do come on lives, y'all know this tax season, so it's probably going to be after 8 o'clock, my YouTubers. 8 o'clock will more than likely be the time frames that you see me on here moving forward. Like I said, expect some video content to come out this week on the YouTube channel, where we're breaking down these different 1099 forms for you all. And then we also have some additional content that we'll be releasing and putting out as well. I'm excited. Because we got a little team together, and I got a video guy. So we're about to start filming and doing the podcast so we can give you all more content and information. One of the other things that I'm looking to do is kind of more open up and enlighten you on different topics, right? Like some of the things that's happening in the financial world. So I'll be giving you some news updates as to what's happening in the finance world. And it's not always going to be taxes. It may be something dealing with, it may be who was the biggest thief this year, right? Who got shut down for PPP, right? Because a lot of y'all don't know and understand. It's a lot of people that is still under investigation and shut down from PPP loans to this day. Okay. People have lost their jobs. There are tax people, right, who have been locked up and going to jail. So I'm going to start sharing and exposing some of these cases, right? So on the YouTube channel, that's some of the things that we'll be going over, is also updating you all on some of this news, because it's a lot of information. I think I'm calling it financial crimes. You know how I have Finance Friday? I forgot what day of the week we're doing. I think we're doing it Thursday, Financial Crimes Day. So any topic that is in the news recently of some type of financial crime, whether it's Forbes, whether it's the IRS, whether it's somebody doing PPP loans, regardless, it's going to be a financial crime kind of topic, right? Hot topics for financial crimes, basically. So that's it. I'm out. I got taxes to file. I will see y'all on the next video. What's today? Tuesday. So I probably won't be on tomorrow. I will be on Thursday. I will see you on Friday. Instagram, YouTube for Finance Friday. We are going over a second edition of the credit tips. And then I got something else that I'm going to talk to y'all about, but I'll wait on that. I'll wait and share that with you later on. So I'm out. Have a good night. Ooh, baby. Everybody on here quiet tonight. I'm leaving. We are done.